I 31F am getting married to my fiancé 36M this fall. We have been together for about 4 years. He has a son who is 18 from a previous relationship. I met him when he was 14. We are friendly but not close. He calls me by my first name and we have a polite relationship, but I am not a second mom to him or anything like that. My dad passed away when I was 22. We were extremely close and losing him was really hard on me. Ever since I got engaged, I knew I either wanted to walk myself down the aisle or have my uncle do it, who has been like a second father to me. A few weeks ago, my fiancé brought up the idea of his son walking me down the aisle. He said it would be symbolic, a way of showing that we are officially becoming one family, and that it would mean a lot to his son. I was honestly shocked because it had never crossed my mind. I told him right away that I was not comfortable with that. It felt forced and weird to me. I respect his son, but it would not feel genuine to have him in a role that meant so much to me and was connected to my dad. Apparently he had already mentioned the idea to his son and got his hopes up. When I said no, it hurt his feelings. My fiancé told me I should reconsider for the sake of blending the family. I told him I was sorry his son felt hurt but that it was unfair to expect me to rewrite such a personal moment for appearances. We ended up arguing, and I will admit, I said something too harsh. I said I was not going to have someone who is basically a placeholder for my dad walk me down the aisle. I immediately regretted the wording but the damage was done. Now my fiancé's family is furious with me. His son is not speaking to me. My fiancé thinks I should apologize and reconsider. My mom said she understands my feelings but that I could have said it more gently. I feel like I am being pressured to fake a perfect family dynamic for everyone else's comfort and it feels so wrong. But I also feel awful for hurting his son's feelings. Comment 1. NTA, a little harsh, but I find it much weirder that the 18-year-old wasn't automatically put in the role as best man. He absolutely should have a role in the wedding, but walking the bride down the aisle is such a very strange suggestion. That's for giving away the bride. How in the world would a stepson be giving away his stepmother? That makes no sense. His family is being ridiculous. He is being ridiculous. I entirely blame them for his son's reaction. I would be reconsidering whether or not your fiancé is ready for marriage when he is reacting like this and purposefully causing drama. Comment 2. NTA, so you had an argument with your fiancé and he ran and told his family everything you said? That's a bigger problem than him expecting his son who you don't have a deep relationship with to do something that holds a special place for a bride. And he talked to his son about it before even mentioning it to you. So many issues here. Comment 3. NTA. But you need to think about some things before you go through with this wedding. Your fiancé discussed something that should be 100% your decision with his son before he discussed it with you. Then he got angry with you for not liking his suggestion for a decision that is, again, 100% your decision to make. He got angry that his son would be disappointed and basically said you had to give in to his idea to blend the family. Your fiancé's communication skills suck and you should be concerned about him not respecting your choices and his inability to even recognize choices that are not his to make. Story 2, wanting a photo at my wedding with only my bride and our biological parents, without my stepmom? My wedding is later this month. My wife-to-be and I would like to take photos of many configurations of family members, and it would mean a lot to us if at least one of those photos was of the two of us and each of our biological parents. My parents divorced over 10 years ago, when I was in college. My dad remarried but my mom has not. I love my dad but I feel zero affection for my stepmom. I never have. She did not raise me and has only made life difficult for me, my mom, and my sister. However, I love my dad and I have accepted that if I want to maintain a relationship with him, that I have no choice but to tolerate her. I told my dad about the bio-parents only photo that I want to take at my upcoming wedding and he told me that his wife was being weird about that and refused to allow such a photo to be taken, but that he would talk to her to see if he could change her mind. He called me back today and informed me that my stepmom absolutely refuses to allow my dad to appear in any photo with his ex-wife if she isn't also part of it. She thinks that people will think they're still married and that for me to even suggest such a thing is rude and disrespectful to her. Apparently she has had prolonged, expletive-filled arguments with my dad over the idea that he could ever think of not taking her side on this. I don't think I am asking for anything unreasonable at all, and I think she is the one who is being selfish and disrespectful. I am not excluding her entirely from photos. She will be in many photos that day, but she is not my biological mother, and given how she has treated me and the rest of my family over the past decade, she should frankly be thankful that she was invited at all. All I want is one photo with my own parents. On my wedding day, the one day in my life where I would hope that my fiancé and I should get the final say. My fiancé and her parents are completely on my side. She is upset and shocked that this is a conflict at all. Today we had a call with the four of us, me, my fiancé, my dad, and stepmom. On this call my dad firmly said that he refused to appear in any photo with my mom without his wife beside him. My stepmom told me that I know it's your day, but you need to think about how you make other people feel. She told my fiancé, who is from another country, that in America this is considered rude. My fiancé tearfully argued with them, saying nothing that I disagreed with, honestly. The call ended with my dad saying, "Let us know if you still want us to come to the wedding." Comment 1. I have a biological son and a stepson. I will never demand such a selfish thing of my husband if my stepson gets married. Of course I would want him to have a picture of both his parents and his new wife. No wonder you don't have any affection for her. What a fucked up thing for her to do. I'm so sorry you have a person like this married to your dad. This is such a selfish way for her to behave. You are not an asshole, at all. Comment 2. NTA. It's completely normal and expected to have this exact photo of a couple posing with their parents. Had your stepmom raised you from when you were little and was a genuine parent figure to you, this would be different, but as it is, she isn't your parent, so she doesn't go in the parents' photo. I assume, as you indicated, there will be plenty of other photos she's included in, such as the larger family and group photos. You can even get one with just you guys, your dad, and her. Just as you'll probably have one just with your mum, or your wife's parents. She's being the main character at your wedding and she needs to stop. Comment 3. NTA. Make sure your photographer knows about this issue so that you can take 2 separate photos, one with your mom and one with your dad, and then they can Photoshop them together, and then make sure you post that picture all over social media and your father's wife can choke on it. I personally would just disinvite my father and his wife from my life, but that might be too extreme for you. Story 3. Making my sister's gender reveal cake grey because she wouldn't tell me the gender. I, 22M, bake as a hobby, and I'm actually pretty good at it, like I get paid under the table for weddings and baby showers, kind of good. My sister is pregnant and wanted me to make the cake for her gender reveal. Cool, no problem. I asked her to send me the info so I could prep the inside classic pink or blue filling. She says, "Oh no, I want to be surprised too. Just make it neutral for the reveal and we'll all find out together." I was like, huh? So you want a gender reveal cake with no gender revealed? She says she'll have someone email the info to me later. That someone never did. Deadline comes, and I still have no gender. So I make the cake. It's grey inside. Grey outside. Just full on cement vibes. I even added little fondant clouds for effect. It still tasted great, but visually grim as hell. The reveal day comes, they cut into it, and my sister looks pissed. Her husband is confused. People start murmuring. Then she pulls me aside like, "Why would you make it grey?" That's so passive-aggressive. Calmly reminded her that no one told me the gender. I literally had no data to work with. I told her I wasn't about to guess or go full improv on someone's baby cake. Now my mom says I embarrassed her in front of the family and that I should have tried harder. Tried harder to do what? Summon the gender through vibes? Edit. I actually did follow up, asked her a couple days before the reveal if the info had been sent, and she just said something like, yeah, someone's taking care of it. I figured it was handled. I didn't want to pester her since she seemed chill about it at the time. Comment 1. I'm confused. Did you not take the opportunity to message as the date was coming closer to tell your sister, hey, I haven't gotten the info on the gender? You check on this? OP comment. I actually did follow up, asked her a couple days before the reveal if the info had been sent, and she just said something like, yeah, someone's taking care of it. I figured it was handled. I didn't want to pester her since she seemed chill about it at the time. If she really wanted the gender in the cake, she could have double-checked too. I was relying on the system she set up, and it just didn't come through. Comment 2. Why couldn't you have made it yellow and baby-themed or something? It seems pretty vindictive to make the cake a grim cement vibes for an important event where you'd be serving many more people besides your airheaded sister. I understand you were frustrated, but damn, that's all anyone is going to remember from that event now, which was kinda AITA. Story 4, calling out my husband for faking sick in front of my kids. I, 41F, am a stay-at-home mom for my 3 kids. My husband has a very good job and makes enough to where I don't have to work and can stay home with the kids. 3 months ago my husband had to take time off work because he had a really bad case of the flu. I took care of him for about a month. After that he started noticeably feeling better. He no longer ran a temperature, wasn't throwing up, wasn't coughing, etc. So at this point it has been 2 months of him being completely fine and still not working. He also still expects princess treatment from me. I've told him so many times that we're running out of money and he either needs to go back to work or go to the doctor and find out what's wrong. I also am unable to work because my youngest is 6 months and my 2-year-old is disabled and she has a really hard time being without me. Last night at dinner I absolutely lost it on him. My oldest daughter, 15F, was asking about a new phone. I told her that we were in a tough spot at the moment, and that meant we couldn't get fancy things like new cell phones. My daughter totally understood and she didn't say anything else. But my husband said, well, you could have a new phone, the problem is daddy is sick and mommy doesn't want to work. So until she gets a job we can't afford things like food, or the house, or anything. I was in absolute shock. We are not at all in a position where we can't afford the house or food. I told him that I couldn't go to work unless he wanted to take care of the baby, which he doesn't know how to do, help my oldest with her homework, drive her to and from school, cook, clean, and give my middle one her meds and the attention she needs. I also said that maybe if he would stop faking sick and act like a grown man, then the kids wouldn't have to know about our financial state. He got pissed and stormed off. Then he said that I was an asshole and a horrible mother for ridiculing my children's father in front of them. I personally think what I said was probably wrong to say in front of the kids, but definitely not worse than what he said. Comment 1, NTA. You just found out that he doesn't actually care about you as a person. He wants your labor. He is not going back to work, or if he does end up going back, will be a baby and resentful about it. No. You should not have said that in front of the children, but when we are confronted with something shocking, we don't get to control how we react because we react usually on emotion in that situation. He chose to say that in front of them. He started it and knew you would be shocked. He did not come to you and say that even though he's starting to feel better, something feels wrong and he needs a doctor. He didn't come and say that he has loved being off and thinks he needs a career change. He tried to make you the villain of the house. That is not a partner, that is someone who is trying to hurt you. Comment 2. NTA. What I get from your story is that this entire time he has resented that he works and you don't. He is probably convinced that you don't do much. I also think he couldn't handle it if he had to switch places with you. He's feeling sorry for himself is what I think. He's a bit of a hypocrite too. He can be snarky with you but you can't be snarky with him. Extra, not letting my friend crash at my place after a night out because I had work the next day. I, 23F, Live in a one-bedroom apartment in the city, and I work a 9 to 6 corporate job that's been really draining lately. I'm usually in bed by 10 because I have a long commute and a manager who micromanages everything I do. This past weekend, my friend Lena, 24F, invited me out with a few people for drinks and dancing. I said I'd come for a bit but couldn't stay out super late since I had to be up early Monday for a project deadline. Around 1:30 a.m., I was home and already in bed when Lena texted me saying she'd missed her last train and asked if she could crash at mine. She lives in the suburbs and would have had to wait until 5:30 a.m. for the next train. I didn't respond immediately because I was half asleep and honestly didn't want to deal with someone stumbling in at 2 a.m., making noise, and crashing on my tiny couch. I just let the text sit and went back to sleep. The next day she sent a passive-aggressive message like, "Thanks for the help last night. Good to know where we stand lol." Now she's being cold with me and told some friends I left her stranded. I get that it sucked for her, but I also didn't sign up to be a backup plan at 2 a.m.